The Cleveland Browns are about to make a smart move, and they've been making smart moves. This franchise is competent, and they are a good, balanced franchise, and that's awesome to say. If you're new to the channel, we're Detroit Lions fans, but we have this channel all about teams that kind of get ignored and overlooked by the national media, and the Browns are, of course, one of those teams. Lions were for so many years as well, probably rightfully so, I guess, but both teams, both franchises, just doing things right. And in this video, they're doing more things right. Let's take a look at it. Plus, we'll look at some updates on Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb as well. So here it is. The Browns are close to extensions with Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. Now, here's the thing, okay? And again, we'll get to some updates on Deshaun Watson as well. This is such a good thing because if you look at it, the Browns went 11-6 in 2023, a playoff berth for the first time since 2020. In that 2020 season, they won a playoff game, I believe. This is the third playoff berth since the team's return in 1999. It's hard in being a Lions fan. We know this. You're so kind of bad for so long that that's just kind of what it is. And it's just, you're bad and it's hard to win. It's hard to win on the road. And it's hard to win. It's hard to expect to win, all those things. And so when you finally start turning the corner and you can see, man, Browns had all those injuries last year, lose their quarterback, still go 11-6 in a tough AFC and a tough division. It's like, yes, these guys are like, what? Are you kidding me? This is a no-brainer, and so happy to see. Again, it seems kind of obvious, but you never know in the National Football League, especially, where it's like you see things like, what? So the fact that they're like, yep, hey, we're going to extend these guys. This is easy. You've got a guy in your general manager who keeps finding wide receivers for low draft picks. Okay. Like Jerry Jeudy, here's a 5th and a 6th round draft pick. We don't have the cap space to get him and outbid people for wide receivers, but we'll get him. We'll be proactive, give him a new contract, stay away from that $30 million a year that Tyreek Hill and those guys are getting. And you've got a first round, big, strong wide receiver that you didn't have to pay anything for or give up much to get. So in that time, he's got blue chip players. I mean, there's just all kinds of really good things from the general manager. Then the coach, I mean, you got to just say, yeah, this guy gets it. Being able to take an injury riddled team without their quarterback to the playoffs in the AFC in a tough division. Okay. It's easy, right? So since 2020, the Browns are 37-30, the highest winning percentage for a team or a 4-year stretch since 86-89. So being 7 games over 500 doesn't seem like a lot, but it is. It's the National Football League. It's hard to win. And so to be 7 games over 500, it's not easy to do, especially with the Browns or the Lions, where you've kind of lost all the time. So I love to see it and love to see Stefanski especially coming in, but Andrew Berry too. I mean, he's just done a lot of really good things. Okay, let's take a look at what Stefanski said about Deshaun Watson. Remember, he went out there, spent 24 hours in LA, went out to dinner with Watson, but really it was Ken Dorsey that was the big deal. So Watson spoke with Dorsey on the phone, but the trip out to LA was a chance to spend some time together and get to know each other. And Stefanski said he's doing great. It's beautiful out there. He's throwing. It's awesome. And it was really an opportunity for Dorsey. Ken really was the most important part. Again, this is just them getting it. We don't have to wait till OTAs or for you to come back in the building. Hey, we are going to proactively go to you, spend 24 hours with you, right? It doesn't have to be crazy. Let's have dinner. Let's talk. What are you thinking? How you feeling? What do you want to see offensively? What are some things that you really like doing? Just thank you. That's what you want if you're a Browns fan, is just to see that stuff happening in March rather than waiting until he comes to the facility. It's like proactive. I love it. Now, Nick Chubb's recovery, it's kind of obvious by now that who knows? I mean, that was a devastating injury. So he's saying all the right things. I'm excited for Nick. He's doing a great job. Rehab. We'll just make sure that we continue to make decisions based on him and the medical staff, but excited about Nick. He's basically not saying a lot. And so just as a reminder, I guess more than anything, that this was a major injury. And so just like that's what it was. It was a major, major injury, and we don't have to try to hope and get him back because it's going to be tough. Next one is kind of that first wave of free agency. And we talked about this. We did a video all about Rodney McLeod coming back. You got Maurice Hurst. You've got a bunch of injured guys that you kind of forget about. Lions, same thing a couple years ago. They had all these injuries and it was really terrible and it sucked to have all these injuries. But the good news of a bunch of injuries is they eventually, hopefully come back even stronger. They really do. So you've got your nucleus of your team. All these guys kind of get injured and they forgotten about. And you bring in new guys and they get an opportunity. But then you get this wave of guys that were all injured that come back. So it's exciting if you're a Browns fan because yes, you've added free agents and you've signed some of your own guys and you've traded and you're going to have the draft, but you've got all the injured guys should be start coming back, rolling back in. Deshaun Watson, of course, headlining that. And then a new offensive coordinator that's just going to get him on the move. Like, come on, get, get him rolling out, get him on the move. And that's exactly what you would think would happen this now. And so I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Ken Dorsey, he's talked about it. Ball security and other takeaways from introductory press conference. So remember when he was there, he's like, hey, look, we want to have ball security. Everybody says that, which Deuce Staley, the running backs coach, who was it with the Detroit Lions, is all about toughness and doing all that. So here he is, right? One of the main offensive struggles for the Browns in 2023, they led the league with 37 total giveaways, 23 interceptions, 14 fumbles lost, and the giveaway takeaway differential of -9, which is interesting because as good as they were with a -9 turnover ratio or differential is pretty good because that's a huge stat and it matters big time. They lost a turnover battle in 11 games during the regular season. So turnovers are interesting. They are somewhat of luck and chance, bounces off it. But in general, the better teams turn over the ball less. Like you really use an aggressive analogy with that. If you're like the older brother and you are playing your younger brother in basketball, it's just you take the ball from them. It's easy, right? Now again, I'm using an extreme example, but like typically the bigger, the faster, the stronger, the more well-coached teams take the ball from the other team, or the lesser team fumbles, has mistakes. I've seen it for years, the Lions. So it's interesting that they lost the turnover battle and still won games. So if they clean up the turnovers, oh my goodness, they could be in really, really good shape. So the Browns just doing a lot of good things. That's basically this video. They're doing a lot of good things, continue to do good things, and the future is bright. So if you're new, just hit that subscribe button. If you've watched all the way to this far, you might as well. And we'll see all of you on the next one.